Unlock our entire language learning system. Get up to 30% off Basic, Premium, and Premium Plus.
Hi everyone! Welcome to the Ultimate French Pronunciation Guide. In this series, you'll master French pronunciation. Proper pronunciation is essential in French, and in this series, you'll learn it in a fast, comprehensive, and easy way. In this first lesson of the series, you'll learn about the building blocks of the French pronunciation system that will help you in future lessons. The letters used in French are the same as the letters you use in English, with the exception of a few accents on some of the letters. But be careful not to fall into a very common trap. As you're learning to speak correctly, you shouldn't concern yourself with all the letters. That's right, forget them. You care about the sounds of French, and here they are. There are 23 consonant sounds and 16 vowel sounds. You can form every single word in French by using these sounds. Still seem complicated? Well, how about this? Of the 23 consonant sounds in French, you already know 20 of them. That's right. If you're a native English speaker, then you already make these sounds every day. You can also ignore 6 of the vowel sounds for the same reason. The only thing standing between you and perfect French pronunciation are 3 new consonant and 10 new vowel sounds. You can handle that. Now let me introduce Maëlys, who will be helping you to master these new sounds.
Bonjour, c'est Maëlys.
Maëlys will be giving you native pronunciation examples for you to imitate, but for this first lesson, just sit back and listen to the unique sounds of French.
Agneau, roux, 8, pâte, sang, lait, queue, pain, peur, un, tu, son, bureau.
In this lesson, you'll learn the top 5 French pronunciation mistakes to avoid. These are common mistakes that French learners tend to make. So pay close attention and make sure that you don't make these same mistakes too. Are you ready? Then let's get started. Number 1, mispronouncing the French R. The French R is the most difficult sound to pronounce properly for many students of French, particularly when there isn't a similar sound in the student's own language. It's also a very common letter in French, so it will appear often in everyday conversations. Take, for example,
Lorsque tu arrives à la gare, appelle-moi.
It's kind of deceptive to think of the French R in the same way as the English R, just because they are written in the same way. They clearly don't sound the same at all. Not only this, but they also use different muscles in the mouth. The French R is also called a guttural R because it's pronounced closer to the throat. Don't worry about the specifics now, however. We'll break this sound down in detail in Lesson 7. Number 2, pronouncing a silent letter. It's a common mistake for students of French to pronounce silent letters because the tendency is to pronounce everything that one sees. The French language, however, is full of words that contain silent letters, particularly at the end of a word. It is in fact more common for a French word to have a silent letter than none at all. Take, for example,
Je vais pêcher au port.
Did you catch the silent letters in this sentence? Notice how Maëlys did not pronounce the S and the T. Listen to it again.
Je vais pêcher au port.
Most of the time, you don't need to pronounce the last letter of a word in French. There are of course some exceptions to this rule, particularly if the following word starts with a vowel sound, or if the word ends with a C, F, or an L. But as a general principle, it's quite common to drop the last letter, as it will most likely be a silent letter. We'll cover silent letters in detail in Lesson 8. Number 3, aspirated H's versus muted H's.
N. Hôpital.
Aspirated H's will not allow contractions or liaisons to occur in front of it. For example,
Laine. La haine.
Whereas muted H's will.
L'hôpital.
Most French H's are of this muted variety. They're not interchangeable either, so their usage will depend on the word itself. This unfortunately means that you'll just have to learn them individually. Next is number 4, contractions in French. Unlike English, contractions are not optional in French. You must always contract words wherever possible. For example,
Je appelais. J'appelle. Se est. C'est. de le, du, de les, des.
Don't worry about the rules and principles for contractions too much, though, as we'll cover them in detail in Lesson 8. And finally, number 5, the French U.
U.
The French U is typically a difficult vowel sound for many speakers to pronounce correctly, particularly for speakers of English, because there isn't an equivalent sound in the English language. Whatever you do, though, do not substitute this sound for the English U sound. A simple way to produce the French U is to first try and pronounce the double E sound in the word see. From this position, simply round your lips as if you were about to whistle. And that's all there is to it. Try it.
U.
Let's listen to a few examples which utilize the French U in some words.
Tu, rue, chute.
We'll cover this vowel sound again in Lesson 4. Now you know the top 5 French pronunciation mistakes to avoid. Try to be careful so that you don't commit these same mistakes. In the next lesson, we'll start learning vowel sounds in French. Which of these 5 mistakes is the hardest to avoid? Have you learned any tricks to deal with them? Let us know in the comments. Stick with us and you'll overcome it quickly. In this lesson, you'll learn 7 French vowels.
I, U, ou, e, o, e.
Some vowels may be hard for you to distinguish, especially for English speakers, so make sure you listen carefully. Are you ready? Then let's get started. The first vowel is
I. I, fini, si.
It's identical to the double E sound in the word see.
I. 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 I.
The next vowel is
U. Chute, rue, tu.
This is identical to the previous sound, except that the lips are rounded. Try saying the E in see while rounding your lips. Now listen to Miley's.
U. 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 U.
The next vowel is
Ou. Cou. Clown. Roux.
It's identical to the double O sound in the word boot.
Ou. 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 Ou.
The next vowel is
Et. Marcher. Chez. Pied.
This is similar to the A sound in the word play. However, try not to carry over the Y sound too much. Try to relax your jaw and say it as if you're allowing the vowel to spill out from your mouth. Listen to Miley's.
Et. 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 Et.
The next vowel is
E. Je n'ai que ce.
This is identical to the previous sound, except that the lips are rounded.
E. 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 E.
The next vowel is
O. O. To. So.
This is quite similar to the 2 previous sounds, except that it's pronounced at the back of the mouth. It's a little bit like the O sound in the word O, but try not to carry over the W sound too much. Listen to Miley's.
O. O. O, O,
And the last vowel is
E, lèche, monsieur, se,
it's identical to the E sound at the end of the word problem.
E, 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 E.
Well done! You've just learned 7 vowel sounds in French.
Ich, U, U, E, O, E.
In the next lesson, you'll learn the remaining 9 French vowel sounds. Which vowel sound was the most difficult for you to learn? Please comment and share your thoughts. See you in the next Ultimate French Pronunciation Guide lesson.